Huh. I am live. Okay, hello, masters and princesses. こんばんは。ご主人様、お嬢様。ゴールデンウィークですよね。面白いことをしますか? Okay, everyone. This is Peter Lim from MNN. Not exactly the most formal and prepared live stream or video. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my 5th year Band-Maidaversary. So it has been exactly 5 years since I discovered Band-Maid. And so this week is Golden Week. And Golden Week are a number of holidays string together. So it's called Golden Week because it's just, hey, good morning, afternoon, and oh, good night. Is that, are you saying bye? Cinco de Mayo. It is about to turn the 5th tomorrow, but today it is still May the 4th. Or may the force be with you. So it's really interesting that it's a very special day. The very first, um, what am I saying? The first, it's a special day, or it used to be a special day because of Star Wars, and I loved Star Wars growing up, and it went from Jedi's and it went from Jedi's to maids, which is pretty interesting, and yeah, okay, so let me get straight to it. I arrived in Japan 5 years ago, and it was my first Golden Week in Japan, and I went to a place called Fukuoka. Fukuoka is in Kyushu, which is the most southern west area of Japan. And when I went there, I was just walking around, spent a few days by myself, and it just so happened that there was this one day where they had a live performance. And I don't remember if there were a few live performances or just one, but it was a trio. It was a three-piece band, a lead singer and guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer. And this was before I had any concept of the female, would you say the female power of Japan rock? I mean, I had heard Scandal years before, Stereo Pony years before, but I had never seen a live performance and experienced it in this way. So it's actually a band that some of you may know. They're still a bit small, and they just actually celebrated their 10th year anniversary as well. Hey, Eric. Hey, Ken, Hoagie. Hi, SJ. So they're a group called Real, and they've been around for a while now, but they haven't quite had the same. I guess they've had the same opportunity, but they just didn't blow up the way that Band-Maid did. And their music, I think, as appealing as it may be to an extent, doesn't have that broad appeal that Band-Maid does, especially to the Western audience. But it was after watching them and seeing how amazing that these ladies were performing. This was an outdoor like mall. They were performing outdoors, and it was after that I remember I ended up. I think it was the next day I took the Shinkansen back to where I was living at that time in Yamaguchi-ken, and I ended up spending quite a few hours at this only Starbucks within like a 30-mile radius of that entire area. And as I was sitting there, I was looking for this band, real, like Japanese rock, female rock. And if you guys have ever done that on YouTube, you know what that can lead to. And that's what it did lead to. And I can't remember what other bands I may have watched, who else may have been around, but that's how and when I discovered Band-Maid, May the 4th in 2018. And it's been 5 years. Discovered them, and it's strange, and I don't know how my brain did this. For the longest time, I actually thought that Real Existence was my first Band-Maid video. And I told everybody that. I even wrote like a blog about that. Oh, it was real existence. It was real existence. And then it wasn't until I discovered how to look at my history of videos I had watched to discover that it wasn't real existence. And the order, I have a list somewhere. I'll find it sometime. But the very first Band-Maid video I ever watched was Before Yesterday. And after having watched that, I thought, okay, these ladies aren't bad. Um, I ended up watching Don't Let Me Down. And I thought, oh, I kind of like this vibe. And then I ended up watching Thrill, a part of it. And then the next video that came up was Real Existence. So it's strange that after so many years, it wasn't until I looked, and I guess it just apparently Real Existence had that much of an impact. Because for me, I still just remember that specific thumbnail of Psyche, and you guys know what I'm talking about on Real Existence. Um, and yeah, that was the beginning. Not the beginning of the end, the beginning of everything. And it's really interesting how Band-Maid. I will never ever be able to look back years later and think of Japan without thinking about Band-Maid. Um, I would say, I mean, I do spend a lot of hours working, a lot of hours cleaning up my dog's shit when we're going out. I mean, there are various things that I've done and people that I've met. But, Band-Maid has just colored my entire existence here in Japan. And I'm just very grateful and very thankful that even after 5 years, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I had an intense love affair with the Beatles when I first discovered them. And I remember there was one entire year where I didn't listen to anything else but the Beatles. And I would look at their lyrics all the time, listen to the music all the time. And they really shaped, I think, my concept of what music is and could be, even though their music was from, the 60s. But with Band-Maid, yeah, 5 years, and to still be this much in love with the band, and this, is it committed? Is that the word? I don't know. Is it a commitment that I've made? I think I have in some ways. I've shared this with certain people, but I kind of committed, especially because of financial reasons, but I committed to have Band-Maid be my band. And even though there were other bands that I liked, I'm only going to buy Band-Maid merch. I'm only going to go to Band-Maid shows. And that changed from this past year. I think I've shared that before because I went to a couple of other shows and experienced that and thought this is great. But in a lot of ways, Band-Maid was kind of my Japanese girlfriend, and not the worst girlfriend, considering how much love that I've experienced and how much I've been given and how much I've been able to give back. So I guess I'm just making this video to share um, just a little bit of my experience of Band-Maid, and over the years, my goodness, how many shows is it now? Darn it, I don't want to waste time counting it, but it's at least 12 or 13 now. And I know some of you guys are way past that, but it's every show has been just a memorable moment. And every time I see the ladies, I feel so grateful, so fortunate that I'm able to witness this and have this experience of these girls performing in front of me. And yeah, so it's just I'm grateful. And not only am I grateful for the band, not only am I grateful for everything that they've given to the fans, to all their masters and princesses, to all of us. Um, it's strange because I've always felt like I needed a creative outlet, and I think Band-Maid has afforded me the opportunity to express, I think, myself in a lot of ways. And so making all the photoshops, some of you have seen some of it, some of you have seen all of it, and maybe to a point of annoyance. But it's just a really cool thing to be able to do. And I think for those of you out there who are artistic in some way as well, whether you're making like little figurines, or you're drawing art, or you're making coins, um, or you're writing songs, or just doing covers, Band-Maid does something to inspire you. And it's a really crazy thing that a band like this can inspire people this much. And I don't know, I guess I have seen like the crazed K-pop fans, like the BTS Army, or like the Blackpink's Blinks, and they go all out too. So I'm not saying that, there aren't other groups and bands that don't have these type of like loyal fans. Um, but it's a cool thing to see. And I'm grateful to be a part of it, to have been a part of it, to continue to be a part of it. And I'm really just excited to, yeah, see what the next few years bring. Um, so just thank you, Bandmaid. Band-Maid様、ありがとうございます。全部ありがとう。いつも感謝して、いつも、感動しまして、いつもちょっと刺激的な存在です。But yeah, thank you so much. So let me see a quick bit here. Let's see. Ready, but they are mean to each other. They're lovingly mean, or meaningfully loving. Yeah. So yeah, Chester, there is a pretty strong likelihood of me being there in August. In Anaheim, people have been helping me out financially, and so it definitely, um, yeah, I think it'll still hit me pretty hard, and I don't know, I if there is a show on the West Coast in California next year, I probably will have to just say I hope you guys have a good time. But I think this year it's a strong possibility. There are already people. I don't know if it's appropriate to name them or not to name them. Um, yeah, I don't know which one is better to do. So, but yeah, I do think I will be able to be there in August, to see all of you who are going to be there in Anaheim. And I think, what was the capacity is 2,200, right? Ah, hello, Matsu, restarted. こんばんは。お久しぶり。元気ですか? Um, yeah, so, every time that somebody shares their experience of meeting Band-Maid for the first time and what Band-Maid means to them, I know, like, on at least on Facebook, people are really eager to write back and comment about how they met Band-Maid for the first time, experienced Band-Maid for the first time, and even like how many years they've been following. So for those of you who are watching this, I would love to hear. I mean, from some people I've heard tons of times, and those people have probably heard from me tons of times. But for those, hey, Silent Chaos, welcome. But for those of you who have not shared or maybe want to share, I would love to hear, when did you discover Band-Maid? How did you discover Band-Maid? Over the years, maybe what you've experienced or how Band-Maid has affected you. For me, they've been a lifeline in a lot of ways. Musically, for sure. I mean, musically, it's like they woke something inside that I thought had died, that was gone. Not to say that there wasn't good music out there, but it just set things on fire and started to consume things, which I honestly had not experienced for, I don't know, 20 years. Yeah, so I'm really curious to hear from you guys, in the comments section, in the chat section, wherever. Um, just your stories about Band-Maid too, and when is your Band-Maidaversary? The only other person I know, um, accurately and in detail specifically, is Barry Wayne Curtis, because his Band-Maidaversary is actually on my birthday, which is October 6th. So yeah, whenever it's my birthday, sadly, oh, it's gonna hit me in the feels. Um, I didn't expect this. Sadly, I think of Eddie Van Halen, who was absolutely my biggest musical idol. Um, and I loved him and I love him. I don't want to say to death, but yeah, just he just brightened up my life and my musical life in so many ways, and there was no one else I wanted to be like more than him. So yeah, so Eddie, R.I.P. I love you so much. Yeah, so thank you. But I also think of yeah, Eddie, and I think of Barry on my birthday. Sorry about that. Uh, yeah, so yeah, man. Just share. I don't want this chat to go on way too long. Just because I had a long day. If you guys can't tell, my nose is actually really red. Um, and so is my neck. Can you guys see that? I was actually out all day outdoors, which some of you may love. It was a festival called the Beef Festival. All sorts of beef and beer, and just hanging outside was really cool. I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, so a bit tired, but yeah. So phases in excess. That's really interesting. Um, I liked in excess. Um, first musical obsession. Hmm. Eric, 2018 at the Lodge Room. My first was 2018. So a little bit before you. That was I. Mine was September 22nd, uh, at Club Quattro in Hiroshima, where they're playing again this year, and I will be there again this year, at Club Quattro in Hiroshima to see some of you. And I will give a shout out. I want to thank Richard Hogan, who is a grand and generous man, and I'm grateful for his help and thank you. Yeah, May 2020. Oh, KH son. Eh, for some reason I thought you were a much older fan, not age wise, but like when you discovered Band-Maid. Huh. Yeah, man, Eric, if you can come to Japan and see them, it's a different experience. It's definitely a different experience, and they go a bit deeper, even though you may not be able to understand the MC times as much, because they're not going to be trying to speak English and connect with like the foreigners in that way. Um, it's a different show. It's a different vibe. So yeah, come out when you can. Um, oh wow, 2016. Like I'm frustrated because I was supposed to come to Japan a year earlier, but because of complications, I ended up again coming 2018 rather than 2017. And I think to myself, man, if I had come in 2017 and I had found Band-Maid as they were touring Just Bring It, God, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, 2018, you had Just Bring It and World Domination, but it's, with Band-Maid, because they have like such, my grammar is such few um such few mid songs. Like the majority of their songs are all amazing songs. As their discography grows, the more lack of opportunity you have to hear certain songs and certain sets because they're going to end up pulling from the most modern to recently not their oldest, but there's just too much to grab from. So the earlier you discover Band-Maid, I think it's the more of the amazing songs you get to hear from then. And now it's now. So yeah, brand new made. Brand new made besides I don't know what it was, but for some reason only nonfiction days and Alone got to me the most at first when I heard that album. But now, like, there's something so nostalgic about the music at that time that I love them. Um, yeah, man. Meet and greet 2019 New York. I asked Psyche if I could buy her a house. She laughed and said, "Okay, big." Oh, that is such an awesome response. A big house. Well, you better buy it for her. And there's tons of houses in Japan that are like dirt cheap. So buy it and then send her the address and the keys. Y- yeah, because for me, I didn't ignore the maid outfits because I was just curious, like, what kind of music is this? Yeah, yeah, just what kind of music? Um, hmm. It's really interesting, and I don't know if this sounds bad, but when I first watched Real Existence, I legit was like, "Dude, is that a guy playing drums?" Just because of the way that Akane was just going at it. Um, Man, I don't know. I had never. I don't know if you guys have noticed over the years, but Akane's playing has become a lot more subdued. If you've watched like older videos of them playing, like that one video at Comic Con when they play alone, and you see just like Akane. I don't know if it's a conscious decision, and I think it is. I think she doesn't want to be seen as too wild. But man, I love like old videos of her playing because it's just so just man like yeah her whole I guess it's her back too, right? Maybe I guess she just can't go all in the way she used to. So, but that was good stuff. Um, yeah, "Secret My Lips" is quite the song to hear. She likes suits. Yeah, a lot more now that way for sure. Um, yeah, you know, um, I'll share this too because I'm sure I've shared this in previous times before, but I don't know who it was for you that had you decide to sort of start to obsess, or that moment that you said, "Okay, I love this band." But for me, it was Misa. Um, because what Misa does with the bass, it's not the most technical thing that she does, but she's able to add a piece to their songs that just stands out in such a huge way with a minimum amount of notes or okay with a minimum amount of notes or again like technique. Real Existence, when I heard what she was doing at the beginning of the second verse, like up top at the upper frets, like that grabbed me totally. When Misa ended up changing things up again, second verse for YOLO, grabbed me right away. choose me. What she does again, after Konami's solo, grab me totally. Um, there's so many songs that Misa is able to do this like very minimal amount, but that minimal amount is worlds greater and more musically effective than like what other people can do. And I thought about this. We're kind of veering off, but I thought about this and I realized Misa doesn't always play the bass the way that other bassists do. Even when she's doing solos, she doesn't solo the way that bassists do. A lot of bassists tend to play pentatonic, um, and it sounds like a bass solo. But there are moments, there are times where she plays it like almost even a guitar, and then there are times where it feels like it's a hybrid of a bass and a guitar. So it's like she plays it as a bass, she plays it as a guitar, but also in between as like this not bass guitar, but like a bass slash guitar. Um, and a lot of it has to do with the notes that she chooses and the way that she introduces like melodies into her licks. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Her bass playing is a lot more melodic. So there are people who um, I think technically are much better than her, who play things that Misa probably can't, and not to that degree. But for me personally, like one of my favorite bassists is Paul McCartney, because Paul McCartney was able to play the bass in a way that introduced melody and made it a more of a standout instrument. And I feel like Misa has that same quality to introduce her own musicality and melodies. She has such a keen sense and feel for what fits into this pocket and can change everything. So, oh, so good. Um, yeah, anemone, like, oof, oof. It's painfully amazing. Um, Dice, yeah, for sure. February 21, Without Holding Back. Ah, yeah, Vladimir. Without Vladimir, I think, man, how many people have become fans through watching Vladimir Chupin's videos? Yeah, he's done the Great Pigeons work. Hey, good morning, Tavo. How are you? Um, okay. This is gonna be it's always this way, right? Um, actually it was Alan from Decodec, Gaijin guys, who told me, yeah, these chats always go longer live stream, and then you're talking to people and you start veering off in different directions. It's true. If you guys do YouTube videos, have a YouTube channel and do a live stream, then if you ever do a live stream with the chat, be prepared for this. So yeah, he did some good stuff. I really appreciate the guy. Definitely appreciate Vlad. And it's weird. It's like, um, it's like there are people who will post a picture of a cat, and it's an adorable cat doing an adorable thing, and they'll get 10 likes just because they're not a celebrity. But a celebrity does it, and all of a sudden that little cat is like the most amazing thing in the world, and they get a million likes. And I feel like Vlad kind of has that. He's got that brand power, that brand name power. It's like, oh, Vladimir Chupin, I gotta watch this video. Um, so yeah, there are definitely other videos out there. There are definitely other videos out there. Yeah, that video at Logo in Germany. Um, Good God, there's actually another video of that Mincho Unleashed, of that show, which gives you a different angle, and it's also a really, really good angle, and you can see her, um, more like upfront and up face. So yeah, he's a sweet guy. Vlad has a lot of love. He's a very sweet guy. Um, Tall dude. Let's see, what time is it? It's 11:11. It's 1111. Um, okay, I am gonna head out pretty soon, but a couple of things that are coming up within the next week or so, and I've mentioned this before, but there will be an interview with Ryan Meir coming up, and that'll drop pretty soon. Um, and I think most of you know, because if you're in the Band-Maid community and in the YouTube Band-Maid community, then you must have watched at least one, if not more, of Ryan's reactions to Band-Maid, as well as Gaijin guys. So, um, yeah, being tall does help, which is why I don't film, because I'll just get a bunch of backs and heads. So, but yeah, the video with Ryan will drop. Um, there's also going to be, there's also going to be there will be. I will be doing a review of Hades EP. I think I mentioned that, but ah, so yeah, so their EP, it's called Brings. Um, I am going to go to their show next, not this coming weekend, but the following Saturday. And I spoke with the lead singer, Sara, and she said, "Oh, if we can do the interview then," which is amazing because I thought we would be doing the interview via Zoom. But if I can be there in person to be able to interview them, and there's a lot of other bands which for some reason I can't think of right now. Um, no, not Saisega. Saisega's coming up later. Uh, yeah, I think Risky Melody will be there. Yeah, Risky Melody will be there, as well as Empress. Empress. I think maybe Sirius. A couple of other bands, but yeah, stay tuned for that because that will be coming up, and it'll be cool. I really would love to have you guys sort of introduce you guys to these bands and what they're about, and a lot of these other smaller bands. So the more that we can get that out to you guys, that'd be really cool. The EP is available internationally. Um, I will post a link after I'm done with this to their Twitter. And I think even if you don't have Twitter, you can still look and see the tweet. But it's available at Amazon Japan. It's available at Disc Union, I think HMV, and a few others. So yeah. Um, I will do a review again of the EP. I don't want to give away too much. Um, do keep in mind they are almost like the antithesis of Band-Maid in the sense that Band-Maid veers wildly towards evolution and experimenting, um, and really finding their own sound. I don't think Hades is that sort of band. I wouldn't say they're so much necessarily trying to create their own sound. Um, they're I don't want to go too much into this because it'll get into the review, but um, there's a very simple quality to their music, but it's very driving. Um, yeah, it drives really right at you. And I read that they actually recorded the drums and the bass together. And if you listen to it, you can tell. I'm going to stop here because this will go into a lot of stuff, but you can tell that they're very much a live band. And they've only been around for a little over a year as a band because Hara, the singer, was doing her own solo thing. And Hades, originally Azazel, or Azazel, had lost their vocalist. So they had been inviting different artists to perform with them for a while, and then when she came in, things kind of just clicked, which is why she came on board full time, still doing her own thing, but still being like the lead singer for Hades. And then also, yeah, they do a lot. All four members, they do Hades, but they are doing other gigs as well, like at the same time. So their schedule is just like so many different things. Um, Anyhow, yeah, I do recommend the EP, and I'll leave it there. And I will give a genuine, real review when I do. It takes me a while to really listen, try to hone in on what it is the album is about, and what I want to say about it. Um, I will say, um, I was surprised by some of the. Gosh, okay, stop. I need to know when to stop. This is not a review. I'll give it to you later. Okay, guys. Um, I hope you guys have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, a good night, which is what I'm going to do very, very soon. Um, my goodness, guys. How much did you want to be the guy with the BM shirt? Yeah. I would not have died. I would have like, no, would that have been bad if I screamed and hugged them and said, "Oh my god, Miku!" Yeah, that would have been bad. But they know who I am from various things, so yeah. ah, to talk with them, just hanging out, that would have been beautiful. All right. Thank you guys for watching, for always contributing to this channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. We are still growing. We are still ready to do some bigger things, and just really expand and make Made News Network as delectable as possible. And again, one of our major goals at some point, at some time, is to interview the maids themselves. So once that's done, we're not going to stop. I was going to say, once that's done, okay, we don't have to do this anymore. No, we will still do it. But yeah, please keep staying tuned, keep watching, commenting, liking. It helps the channel. And both myself and SJ will do all the things that we can to help contribute to the maids and to the Band-Maid community. So thank you guys. 本当にありがとうございます。わあ、もう5周年、5周年、ちょっと、早い。めっちゃ早い。思ったより、時間が、すごく早く、流れが、Okay. みんな、頑張ってください。Whatever you're doing, fight. Okay? And I will see you again when I do. Thank you guys. I know that a lot of you probably have work, right? I don't think you guys get a day off because it's going to be May the 4th. So watch your Star Wars. I'm a little bit sad at what Disney has done to Star Wars. But may the force be with you. May the 4th be with you. Made the 4th be with you. Thank you guys. This has been Peter from MNN. I will talk to you guys again. And feel free to comment if there's any questions you have about anything that we talked about today. I will do my best to answer. Okay. All right. Thank you. Enjoy yourselves. Bye, guys. And until next time, listen to Band-Maid. Enjoy yourselves. Bye. 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 Bye.